This is the 2024 Toyota GR86 Premium. Is it the best bang for the buck sports car? Well, at the price point where this model falls, the handling characteristics, which are phenomenal, the fact that it does have a quick shifting 6-speed manual transmission available, a driver-focused interior, it definitely brings a lot to the table. And for those who maybe are saying, I'd really like to have a fun to drive sports car, but I don't need the most horsepower available. I tell you what, even though you may not have as much power with this particular model as you can have, it's still a lot of fun because of the fact that it basically just handles like a go-kart. And there are some changes to talk about for 2024. There is a new performance package with the optional upgraded brakes and suspension, the limited run Truno Edition trim level, and driver assist features are now standard across all trim levels. And obviously having a very swoopy look as far as the overall body lines look. Everything is accentuated by full LED lighting in every place that you look. And for those of you who don't watch me regularly, in case you're wondering, if you see kind of a flickering effect with some of the lights, that has to do with my camera that I'm filming the video with. It's not really happening. It would be kind of cool if you could make that happen, but you can't. And we have just the right size of grille here. We also have active vents, air curtains, everything here is active, not only in this area. As you can see, the air is going to flow out right here, but also right here as well. So no faux vents as far as this model goes. Obviously, it's rear wheel drive. How about our tire and wheel setup? 215 will be the width on the tires. We'll have a 40 series sidewall wrapped around the 18-inch wheels. And obviously the body lines continue to be very racy looking all the way down, no matter where you look. And the gloss black mirrors that are manually folding, they're power adjustable, and they are heated. The shark fin antenna kind of just accentuates the lines here with the roof. A very sporty look with the perfect slope all the way from the front to the rear. And an interesting thing back here, this is called a duck bill rear spoiler. Kind of interesting to see how that looks. We'll finish things off here with the LED taillights, the GR86 logo, and your dual exhaust outlets. And if you're that person that says, you know what, Tom, I'm okay with the 4-cylinder engine, but I don't want a turbocharger. Well, you're gonna be happy here. This 2.4-liter 4-cylinder is naturally aspirated. It makes 228 horsepower. In this case, it's mated to the 6-speed automatic transmission. Still fun to drive. You can use the shifter paddles and shift it manually in that respect. And how about MPGs? Could be an advantage there. 21 city, 31 highway, 25 combined, and 4 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And if you're curious, well, if I want to get out and have a spirited drive, how much gas can my gas tank hold? 13.2 gallons. And by the way, just in case anyone asks, does this GR86 have capless fuel fill? No, it doesn't. Kind of a throwback in this day and age of sorts, because you have a good old-fashioned gas cap, and I know a lot of people like that, so that's nice to have. You could actually put a locking gas cap on there if you wanted to. And one thing I also wanted to show you here, your remote. You can see what's there. It's fairly basic, but it definitely gets the job done. We can push the button right here, hold that down to pop the trunk open. Take a look at our 6.3 cubic feet of cargo capacity. It's a small sports car. We're trying to avoid the big tongue twists there, but it's a small sports car, so you're not going to expect too much room back here. The GR86 logo prominently displayed, and you have your cargo net as well. And one thing that's also interesting here about this particular car, you can see it right here through the back window, and obviously I can give you a better look, but it does actually have a back seat. I don't know, would you call that a full back seat or maybe half a back seat? But it is there. No, I am not going to try and squeeze myself in. And here on the passenger side door, one advantage of a coupe like this is that you're going to have very long and large armrests, plenty of real estate there. And I think I'd call that more of a bottle holder than a door bin, but that's what you have. A quick look across the dash area, at least from the passenger's perspective. We'll also have the glove box right here, so a little bit of storage. Again, a small interior, so not meant to have a lot of storage. Now, one thing that you'll find is going to be right here, you'll have heated seats for the driver and the passenger, so depending on the situation, well, that can come in rather handy. A little space right here, and basically a Bombay door setup right here. You'll also see that you have some connectivity options down there as well, and the cup holders that are hidden away. And over here on the driver's side door, well, pretty much a carbon copy of what we saw on the passenger side door, with a couple of exceptions. You can control your power heated side view mirrors right there. Obviously, lock and unlock the doors and control the windows. And obviously we'll have the same size door bin or bottle holder and the nice long, really long, more than large armrest, but plenty of space there, that's for sure. Now, one thing I didn't mention on the other side is you do have the manually adjustable seats here for the driver and the passenger. But consider price point. We're still at a very good price point for this day and age. You can pop the trunk open right here, and you have a lever right there that you can drop to adjust the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. We'll hop on inside and take a look at everything. I really should have turned the steering wheel, but you'll be able to see what happens when we fire things up. Get that out of the way. There we go. You're gonna have some animated graphics there, so that helps out. A really nice look on the dash here. It's not too much, but it's not too little either at the same time. So I think it has a nice modern look to it. You'll control the lights on the exterior of the vehicle, all that LED lighting that we talked about earlier. And there's actually another function that you have right there. I know some of you are probably wondering, why is that arrow blinking up there? What does that do for you? Well, believe it or not, it lets people around you know what you're doing as far as your intentions, changing lanes and turning and all that kind of stuff. It's called a turn signal lever. Yeah, I know that's a shock to some people because you never knew you had that in your vehicle. You get it standard here too. You also get the windshield wiper control right here. I can't really say anything sarcastic about that in the same manner. It's okay, you can laugh, don't get offended. And the only people that would is the ones who don't use their blinkers. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the video. Here are your shifter paddles. Kind of a unique look compared to what we see in a lot of other vehicles as far as the shifter paddles go, so that's a nice thing to have, a little uniqueness. Your steering wheel mounted controls. You know what all is here and what that's all about, so I probably don't need to tell you too much about that. You can see everything here. And something that might be a little bit of a surprise, especially for an interior of this size, is the fact that you're going to have dual zone climate control. So nice little feature right there. And as I showed you earlier, there's your controls for your heated seats. Don't need that today, but that's all right. Now there's a couple of things here to consider with your shifter. When you go into reverse or into neutral or drive, you'll just kind of feel your way around as to what you can do. Now you'll notice that M right there and the plus and the minus. You can bump the shifter over when it's in drive and actually use that to go through the gears the same way you can through or using the shifter paddles right here. And there's your backup camera, in case you were wondering. I don't think we have the best view today, but that's just kind of the way it is for us as far as the glare that we have. But you can see what we have here with our navigation. A nice look. And again, there we go. Let's give you a better view of what we have here. Fairly minimalistic, but that's a good thing. Easy to deal with. You can see your one-touch buttons right here that will get you where you need to go. You also have the knobs for controlling the volume for the radio and changing stations. All that good stuff is right there. While it's a nice driver-focused interior, it's very easy to deal with, it's still fairly minimalistic, which in this particular case, I think is a good thing. And by the way, here's something that's really interesting. You'll notice what all we have here as far as traction control goes in driving modes. Do one of those driving modes stand out to you more than any other? If you have a video of yourself driving your GR86 in the snow and driving in snow mode, I would love to watch that video. And by the way, in case you were wondering what all you can see here on the dashboard, I'm not going to go through everything, but I'm just using those arrows I just showed you to get through some of the information that you see going across on the left-hand side there. So in case you were wondering, yeah, there are some things you can do here that can help out with that. So it just makes it a little bit easier. If you need to select anything, you can do that. You can turn some features on and off. This interior, as simple as it is, I don't think you really need somebody to give you a tutorial on how to use it. That's one thing I really like here. You can use the hunt and peck method to learn your way around. And as far as the interior goes, last but not least, let's take a look at what's on the upper console, because I know some of you ask about that, so I want to make sure I show it. I probably don't need to tell you too much about what is there because you can see it. Okay, we're out on the road for our test drive. And one thing I did neglect to mention earlier, and you may or may not know this, but if you're wondering what is the exterior color on this particular model, it's Truno Blue. Obviously, we have a black interior, which the two seem to complement each other quite well. So a couple of noteworthy observations here. Number one, you do have a little bit of a stiff ride, but you know what? You should. You're not going to have the handling capabilities that you have with this car if it has a real cushy ride. So the shocks and suspension, everything is tuned to give you that great handling experience. And obviously it goes without saying to tell you that, well, the steering is very tight, very responsive, really enjoyable. It's fun to drive. It really just gives you that good seat of the pants, driver-focused experience, you know, especially if you're somebody who really has a higher skill level in what you can do with the vehicle in the right situations. Obviously, you don't want to endanger anybody else on the road, but when you're out on roads like we're about to be on and there's nobody around, yeah, you can have a little more fun with that. But the thing that makes this car so great is that it's fun for really any driver of any skill level. Have to have racing experience or autocross or whatever it is to really enjoy the car. And another thing that I think is a positive here, a lot of the time when you're driving vehicles, you don't want a lot of road noise, but you know, that really gives you more of that visceral experience with the GR86 to have some road noise. It's a little noisy in the interior, and that actually makes it kind of fun to enjoy, you know, driving the car up to its potentials. And, you know, could you use it as a daily driver? Yeah, you could. That wouldn't be a problem. Obviously, you wouldn't want to have more than one or two people in the vehicle at a time. I guess if you had some kids, they could fit back there. If you just wanted to make some kind of a video for YouTube and have some fun and see how long full-size adults, large adults could fit in the back seat if they can get back there, well, that could be interesting as well. And obviously, well, it's effortless to make it through these corners. I'm not pushing real hard, but at the same time, I can definitely tell that hugging the road is a great description. I mean, it just feels glued down, very good as far as handling goes in every way. And earlier in the video, I mentioned that. I mean, if you want to step on it in a straight line, you can do that and have some fun. But it really is obviously a lot more fun going through the corners, and just the overall driving experience in general is what it's really all about. You don't have to drive really fast to have a good time with this car, but I tell you what, it's a shame we don't have a lot more corners like this that we're going into right here. So let's go on through. I can easily accelerate out of the corner, and I tell you what, it just feels like this car is just saying, give me more, push me harder. It's fun to drive. And so, yeah, like I said earlier in the video, not everybody's worried about having the absolute most horsepower. Would it be fun to drive one of these with the larger engine, more horsepower? Oh, absolutely. And hopefully we'll get our chance here in the future. But this is what they had in inventory at Yoakum Toyota. Definitely a fun car to drive, whether it's just a little weekend car to play with, because obviously at the price point where this model falls, a little under $36,000, it would make a great just play car, something for fun to cruise around with on the weekends, to go to Cars and Coffee, whatever you want to do with it. It would definitely be perfect. So tell me what you think. Is this 2024 Toyota GR86 Premium the best bang for the buck sports car? It definitely gives you a great experience on the road, no matter what the conditions are, whether you're going in a straight line, but especially if you're going through the corners. It handles very well, but it actually accelerates fairly well too, even though it may not be the most powerful version you can buy, or at least what's under the hood isn't the most powerful option. But still a lot of fun. So tell me what you think, and don't forget, if you want to come in and buy this model or anything else here at Yoakum Toyota, there's a link down in the description of the video to help you get started. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at the dealership for loaning me this GR86 for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel just yet, please consider doing so you don't miss any future videos. And if you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.